sending people out of party. We don't even know who's the legit one now. Of course, join the conversation with experts inside and citizen perspective. Share your thoughts with us. I am Savior. Let's look into other news stories with details. Presidency accused PDP's Turkey of high treason for inviting Trump to save Nigerian democracy. The Nigerian presidency, of course, has actually mentioned that the fractional chairman of the People's Democratic Party of committing high treason punishable by death under Nigerian law. Turkey allegedly invited U.S. President Donald Trump to intervene in Nigerian's democracy amid a leadership crisis in PDP. According to Bayo Onanuga, spokesperson for the president, Turkey's action constitutes high treason for calling on a foreign power to invade Nigeria over an intra-party dispute. The controversy began when Turkey, flanked by Governors Sheikh Makinde and Bola Ahmed, urged Trump and other developed nations to save democracy in Nigeria, claiming it was under threat. Sincerely, I will be taking that particular video when we go into PDP's conversation proper, because I wouldn't want to comment now, in as much as I have so much to say about the man called Turkey. Okay, why should you be calling, external power to come sort your individual differences? This is not a Nigerian problem. This is not a Nigerian problem. And it's so easy now for everyone to divert whatsoever situation that is going on in the country into this whole situation of Nigeria being a particular country of concern. We know that there are Christian killings. We have several evidences. Others, some happened, over the weekend. Another one happened yesterday. At the early hours of, yesterday. Some also happened last night. We saw that of Kwara, which is the church, which we'll still talk about. But I see no reason why whenever anything happens in Nigeria now, all we just have to do is to look for an avenue to just call on the international community to come to our aid. So you're having an issue with your brother in your family, and all you have to do is to go call on the community to come and do what? Fix your thing. You have to fix that situation. And PDP needs to be fixed. Okay? You all have to be responsible and take up responsibility, okay, and be accountable for how and what and how you brought PDP and what you contributed in bringing PDP to this particular point. This is not the same PDP we used to know. The big PDP, that particular political party. But of course, we'll be dissecting that because I have enough guests to do justice to that conversation. 44 lawmakers write Tinubu urges release of Nnamdi Kanu. A group of 44 members of House of Representatives, known as the Concerned Federal Lawmakers, has written to President Bola Tinubu requesting the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB. The lawmakers, drawn from different regions and parties, urge the president to direct the Attorney General to discontinue Kanu's prosecution and initiate a constructive dialogue to find a lasting solution. And of course, still the PDP quarters, police condone off PDP National Secretariat amid leadership crisis. The Nigerian police have actually condoned off the PDP Democratic Party National Secretariat. If you can actually look at the video footage, you understand, you will see the reason why that has been done, because they want Abuja to be in peace, and of course the federal government wants Nigeria to be in one shape, and of course the city was quite toxic yesterday. The Federal Capital Territory was quite toxic yesterday because the power-drunk grown-up men indulged themselves in a show of shame, yesterday, this particular person trying to go into the office, another person trying to, kick off, and I saw some, martial arts and taekwondos. Yeah, you can actually see that. But of course, we'll be dissecting more of this. This actually reminded me, of the National Assembly back in, in those days, where the maze of the Senate was also carried and all of that. But of course, the drama can never end. This is Nigerian politics, okay? So we'll be getting into that particular conversation, but of course, the police needs to do that, okay, just to, to stop, any party clash that could have happened today, and I think I would have to appreciate the Nigerian police for that particular swift action, okay? And away from that particular one, let's talk about Kebbi state adoption, okay? Security expert blames authorities for sabotage. A security expert, Yahuza Gatso, has accused the authorities of sabotage over the failure to act on intelligence provided before the recent attack on Government Girls Comprehensive Senior Secondary School in Maga, Kebbi State. The attack led to abduction of 30 schoolgirls and the death of school's vice principal Malam Hassan Makuku. Okay, sincerely, all I would just say about this particular one is that, to the best of my knowledge, I know that there is no how we wouldn't get, an intelligence before time. But the reason why we take time or stay aback sometimes before taking, proactive measures, before taking, taking up situations immediately, to attend to it immediately. I don't know why we do this. And this is not the first time we'll be getting someone talk about situations like this. But I must also commend the DSS, because I'm also privy to that particular information, that the DSS raised an alarm as regards to Ondo State, yes, Ijebu, and they mentioned, I think, Edo State was also part of it. But Ondo was the main target over the week, okay? Ondo was the main target, and this happened at the, I think, late last month to early this month. And they raised, an alarm, giving intelligence that the bandits or this particular unknown gun guys or, Boko Haram were about to strike. They raised this alarm and they mentioned it. And so many things were put in place. That was the reason why that particular attack was averted. So why didn't this one, why didn't they do something about this particular one? Sincerely, we still have to look at the architecture, the security architecture, of Nigerian states, because we can't be waking up every day to be seeing a very heartbroken news. We can't be waking up to be hearing such news every day. Is either before you sleep, you hear one, or while waking up, okay, you hear another one. Today, there was another attack in the north, in a particular community. Hopefully, maybe we would see the news before the end of today. But how did we get here? To join the conversation, kindly call the number 090-447-32605. 090-447-32605. Follow us on social media at VOPTV Live. You can use the hashtag People's Voice on VOPTV. And of course, on YouTube, we're Voice of the People. Kindly hit the subscribe button, and together we can make our voices heard. It is time for us to go on a quick break. As soon as we return, we'll be taking this conversation, PDP in crisis as Wike's group sacked Makinde and other chieftain. You don't go nowhere, stay tuned, please. It is the People's Voice. Us on People's Voice, where we amplify the voice of those that matters the most. Join the conversation. Share your thoughts with me. I am Savior Udo. Weekdays, Monday through Friday, from 4 p.m. to 5. Don't forget,
we facilitate lively discussions, debates, and interviews on the topics that matter most to you and I, from social justice to economic empowerment, education to healthcare, governance, and more. Tackling tough topics and amplifying your voice. Join the conversation and make your voice count. The people's voice. Make your voice count.
What happens in the hush behind hangar doors? Who signs the papers that gamble with lives? Which truths were grounded before they even ever had wings? If you've ever buckled a seatbelt at 30,000 feet, if you've ever stared out of that tiny window and wondered who's really in control of the skies, it isn't just flight, it's power, it's politics, it's pressure sealed in steel. We're peeling back the clouds from runway risks to sky-high secrets. We're diving deep where most dare not to look. Aviation Scope, every Sunday at 7 p.m. only on Voice of the People TV. We don't just report, we reveal. We don't just ask, we uncover. Because when it comes to the skies, ignorance is turbulence. Aviation Scope, the sky isn't the limit, it's just the beginning.
Welcome back to the program, it is still People's Voice on VOP TV. A faction of the People's Democratic Party, loyal to Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has expelled several top party members, including by themselves also expelled. And the Wike-backed faction National Executive Committee also dissolved the State Executive Council in Oyo, Bauchi, Zamfara, Yobe, Lagos, and Ekiti states, directing the constitution of Caretaker Committee and Fresh Congress. The development triggered a heated confrontation between both camps as the party's National Secretary in Abuja, where parallel INEC and Board of Trustees meetings were scheduled. Police fired tear gas, of course, to disperse supporters and journalists, and the situation escalated into chaos with both factions clashing and brandishing sticks, PDP National Chairman Kabiru Turaki has called on U.S. President Donald Trump and the international community to intervene in the Nigerian political situation, warning that country's democracy is under threat. He expressed surprise that the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike, who he claims was expelled by the party, was granted access to the party's secretariat. We're now being joined by Mr. Elvis Elimehele, a journalist, political and public affairs analyst, and of course a member of the Guard of Public Affairs Analysts of Nigeria. You're welcome on board, sir.
Hey, good evening. How are you doing?
Very well. So officially we have to be making our dates every Wednesday. Okay. And of course, we also have Mrs. Olahunmi Oluwafunmi Layo Ayola, an expert in criminology from the University of Bedfordshire, UK, and of course, a professional in counterterrorism, risk management, and resilience at Cranfield University, UK. You're welcome on board, madam.
Thank you for having me.
So I don't know what is really going on. Why the touch of blue today, or why the blue? Perhaps the gentleman and the lady should have informed me that, oh, Savior, please, let it be about blue today, because I did blue yesterday. Now you are making me feel bad. So, but it's okay. I'll let it slide. I don't know what they are planning, but it's fine. Okay, and I don't know if he is joined the show. We also have Chief Peter Ame from Abuja, or Kogi State to be precise, former National Chairman, IPAC, political economics, political party management strategist, governance, policy, and development analyst. Good afternoon, Chief Peter. Are you there?
Good afternoon. I'm here.
All right. Thank you so much for joining the program.
Thank you for.
Okay, so quickly, I'd like to take it off from the studio before I come to you, Chief Peter Ame. Mr. Hervis, you saw the wonderful presentation that the elder statesmen, have been presenting to Nigerians, for the past 2 weeks. But of course, over the weekend, they decided to go ahead with the convention against the court order. And not only that, they went ahead to expel a certain group of people. And it is just dawning on them now that this set of people are indulging in serving anti-party. These were the same people we asked the PDP, why have you not sacked Wike? And they said, we don't have any evidence. So do they have evidence now? But of course, with all of this show of shame, what can you say about this PDP saga?
Savior, it's a shame that when elders dance naked on the streets, in the village square, it becomes a lack of a good example to the younger ones. That was what we saw yesterday. Yeah, like you said, we've seen this back and forth for the past 2 weeks. But unfortunately, it degenerated to a level that, thank God our lives were not lost yesterday, because the way the two sides took it, something else could have happened. But look at what happened. Wike, like I said, Wike has become a mole in PDP. And unfortunately, PDP delayed so much. The expulsion of Wike came too late, as far as I'm concerned. Because nothing could have been more serious than when a party member at that hierarchy of a state governor, openly said he was not going to support their presidential candidate. I'm talking of 2023 election, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. And he actually did it to the extent that he's even bragging with it that he told the party was not going to support their candidate. And after that, he took up employment from the opposition. And since then, he has not stopped. That's a very grievous offense as in political party, formation of a political party. If you are not part of it, why are you there? So I was expecting that before now, PDP would have made.
But of course, Mr. Avis, Wike was aggrieved as at the time.
No. What led to the grievances? Wike contested, was an aspirant in that election.
But the ticket was meant to be zoned to the south.
No, then it didn't go the way he wanted.
Why didn't it go the way it was planned?
I'm coming there, Savior. Right from time, there have been issues in PDP. PDP have actually not been truthful to themselves. But when he went in that manner, as a good party person, he would have either said, okay, I'm resigning from the party completely, or let me manage up. He didn't resign. He still kept the party. All other positions in Rivers State came through PDP. The governor, the National Assembly, and the House of Assembly. Then the presidential candidate, he said no, he was not going to support. You don't rob Peter to pay Paul. I would have expected that, okay, I'm not happy because the zoning supposed to go to the south. Then I'm resigning my membership of this party. He has done so well with the party. He has financed the party to a very high level. But when it comes to pulling it down, and now he's the only one that is enjoying it because he has an appointment with the opposition party. I mean, the ruling party as an opposition from an opposition party he belongs to. He's enjoying with the ruling party. Other party members are not enjoying it that manner. So PDP itself lost his bearing.
Okay. All right, I would like you to hold your thoughts. We have a caller here. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Good afternoon, Savior. This is INEC calling from Lagos.
All right, good afternoon. Please go ahead.
This is INEC calling you from Lagos.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Now, what concerning what we discussed about the betrayal of Mike by PDP, PDP would have humbly admitted their mistake and said, apologize to Mike and try to bring Mike in. Find a way to compensate.
I think we're having a network glitch there, so that was a drop call. But of course, Mr. Elvis, I would like you to finish your thoughts before I go to...
Yeah, so I was actually like, you can't, be at the fringes. It's either you belong or you completely not part of it.
Okay.
But as a good politician, you say, okay. Oh, no, this is not the arrangement. PDP has that internal arrangement of, okay, from the north to the south, from the south to the north. It is not, it's not really a constitutional thing, but they arrange it in such a way that let both north and south begin to benefit from, that biggest office in Nigeria, which is the presidential seat. The south had it for 8 years. The north came in. Unfortunately, he died in office. Then his device has to complete it. I'm talking about President Goodluck Jonathan.
Yes, go ahead.
After that, that's where the crisis began in PDP. People will not trace it. When Jonathan contested that 2011 election, ordinarily one would have expected that, okay, why don't a northerner call me? Because he was just to hold it for within the period before for the death of his boss. But Jonathan was allowed. There was already an infraction. Wike is not looking at it from that way because at that time Wike benefited. In 2015, when PDP lost that election, it was very obvious that PDP would have managed up a northerner to complete that tenure that Yar'Adua started. But because all of them, or everybody that is like, oh, it's wrong now, benefited from it, they never saw anything wrong. That was where PDP, created the crisis that, engulfed it in 2019 and 2023. We still have 2019 election. Before the 2023, why is Wike singling out a 2023 general election? Because he was an aspirant, I never got the ticket. He now suddenly just discovered that, oh, why did the ticket have to go to the north? Okay, so now all you are saying is
the problem is from Wike and not another person.
I think
PDP
okay,
and Wike should have, just throw in the towel and say, I'm leaving because you are not honoring agreements.
Okay. All right, let me go to Chief Ame. As soon as I come back, then there's something I need to ask you as regards to what Turaki talked about, okay? Calling on the international community. So I'll get there with you. But Chief Ame, are you there? Please, can you unmute your mic? Chief Ame, can you hear me?
Unmute. Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you loud and clear now. So, what's your take as regards to this whole situation that is going on in PDP? Of course, now we don't know who is the real PDP and who is the fake, because the other one expelled this one, and this one now have expelled this other one. So, everybody's on expulsion, So, what are you going to say about this whole situation of PDP's saga?
It to be disingenuous for anyone to say they don't know the one that is the real PDP. We are Nigerians and we belong to this country. And we know what is playing out. The intrigues behind the scene, the attempt to cripple the PDP, a political... I'm not a member of the PDP, but what I've done as a member of the opposition is to speak and make sure that our democracy is not killed by desperate people who want to use it for their own personal, selfish and political interest. One, political party body corporate with self-succession. A political party is not just like ordinary association; it's a public institution where, with all the necessary rights that is conferred upon it from Section 221 to 210. So, without self-succession authority that political party has, and without statutes that has also been part of its legal instrument, it is clear that political party does not belong to an individual. So, what is happening in PDP today? You could see it as people who are acting as undertakers to undermine and to destroy the PDP because they feel will stand as an obstacle to the re-election So these are people who have planned themselves as fifth columnists within the PDP. And it is very disheartening that people say it's a shame. I say we should look at people who have stood in defense of democracy. They are very comfortable. Bola Ahmed is a second-time governor, a minister, a senator. He could have easily defected to the APC. Testament was a former minister, an SAN. He could have easily defected to the APC. So a lot of all others who are there today, what they are doing, people might not see it as something that should give them plaque for today. But I'm telling you, as somebody who are committed to seeing that a multi-party democratic system flourish, is something we should gather and give them plaque and tell them thank you for trying to make sure that our democratic multi-system arrangement does survive. People say that it's wrong that Samuel Nturabi called for Trump to intervene in the democracy. When you find out something is in danger, when you find out that people are using state apparatus of state, to overpower the opposition, when you find out that nowhere you can run to, you run to the powerful man. Democracy is starting to be homegrown. It is Western in the country. And the one particular with President American this branch that we have taken and brought to this country. So it is not anything because Samuel Nturabi cannot command the police, neither can he command the army to come to help him. So he's looking at people who believe in liberal democracy, who believe in the views of people being heard, who believe in participation of citizens in democratic engagement, and it is clear that also taking sides. Today, I got to learn that police are still of the PDP secretariat. With the police are still of the PDP secretariat, if the wicked group were holding sway, we is not of the police in a democratic system to continue to go and close down the headquarters of the political party whenever there's small misunderstanding with it. The party has unnecessary organs that have been put in place so that the party can organically organize itself in a way that it insulates itself for external interference by making sure that the dissidents are there to take decisions to
Okay, Chief Ame.
And a register of political party.
Chief Ame.
I have not said anything clear on this issue. So we should not also draw INEC as some people an organization that has also been hijacked by people in power.
Chief Ame. Can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you.
All right, so I would like us to look into a particular angle that of course nobody wants to talk about it presently, because I think everyone now is angry and everyone just feels they want to do whatever they want to do to either save the party or to destroy the party finally. But if I may ask you, a few months ago, before this projection of convention, the Wike-led faction said that until they meet up with one or two things that needs to be done, and afterwards, everybody would be fine. The aggrieved members, everybody will come back together, and they will proceed to the convention. What are the Wike's conditions for peace in the PDP? What were the things he mentioned? And how did the other people make effort to at least meet him somewhere? I would like to know.
The reason
I think we're having a network glitch there.
Yeah.
Okay, let's come back to the studio. Mr. Elvis, before you come in, but please don't forget that particular question there. But I want us to talk about the international community. Nigeria is at a crossroad, if I'm permitted to use that particular statement, where we certainly know that insecurity is ravaging the land, and every part of Nigeria is quite fragile now. And the governments are trying to, look for a way to cushion the effects of the situation. But in a situation like this, where a politician in Nigeria is calling on the international community, even making statements, I'd like us to watch that video, making statements that the democracy of Nigeria is being threatened, is under threat. This is just to help fastening, to hasten the response of the international community, especially the United States of America. And I do not know the interest that Trump has, but it's actually looking like it's a time bomb I would like the video to come in now, you know, from my team. I would like the video to come in now. The video where Turaki, that's the chairman of PDP, was actually addressing, you know, the crowd, and he was calling on the intervention of the international community. So, if I may ask you, Madam Ayola, what effects and what particular, will I say, consequences, you know, what significance will this particular one have on Nigeria? How does this particular crisis, you know, on this the state of a democracy in Nigeria, you know, because if we allow this thing to keep on going like this, I assure you, all Trump needs is just the final call. Don't forget, another thing happened in Kwara yesterday, you know, in the church. You know, we still have the schoolgirls matter. And now the politicians.
It happened in Kaduna too.
You know, another one happened in Kaduna. Now the politicians are actually calling on Donald Trump to come save democracy in Nigeria. Coming from someone who is over there, what would you have to say about this?
First of all, when we talk about security, I would say Nigeria government have disappointed the people. And secondly, we have to understand that we use politics. The way Nigeria plays their own politics, they use security to fight one another. Who are the cabals? There are many cabals on the ground who are targeting current administration. 2027 is round the corner. Some are saying they don't want President Tinubu there. Let's look back to Jonathan's time. The same incident happened during President Jonathan, when Jonathan's administration was in power. When they don't like the administration, they use politics, security to fight one another. And when you look at the way they use security to fight one another.
Madam Ayola, that's the video where Turaki was calling on. That's the video.
Yeah.
Seeing the threat that Nigerian democracy is. Come and save us. Come and save us. I want
wrong with American first. President Trump should mind his own business. He should focus on America, while Nigeria government will focus on Nigeria. We don't have to quote house herders to come and sort out the problem in their house. They can do it themselves. We have President Tinubu. His focus is in control. And
Madam Ayola, I will have to take you on this.
Yeah.
I understand the fact that you feel or you want, under Mr. Elvis, you know, we just have to do this head-to-head now. So I understand the fact that you feel the Nigerian government can actually tackle the situation. Yeah, okay? You feel the Nigerian government can handle the situation. But my problem here is that we have so many cases on ground that the same government have not been able to fix. And let us even take it up to our judiciary. Did you also see what happened in the just concluded judges conference in Abuja? In a situation where a president, please, I would like my PCR to also play this. In a situation where a president, of course, was invited to come and open, you know, the judges conference, and a president was invited by the Chief Justice, you know, to go to the podium. While he stood up to move to that's the video. While he was walking to the podium to speak, they were playing "On Your Mandate We Shall Stand." This is the same Nigeria. Please, can you give it volume? Take it again and take it from beginning, please. Don't you think we really need this help? Because if a situation like this can be going on in the same Nigeria, can a common man have issues with an APC politician today? Will that same person win that case?
But you have to understand that's why the way Nigeria plays their own politics. If someone is in power, the administration that is in power, opposition, they all move to the other party.
Including judges? Is it right?
It's wrong, but if that's the way Nigeria plays their own politics. Because
Mr. Evans, you have to say something, please.
Madam, I'm quite happy that you are from a more civilized part of this world, where you live. Yeah. And the video we just watched, how do you expatiate on that video? Is that not shameful?
It's a dirty politics.
Is that not shameful? Savior, we have 3 arms of government, which we were told in elementary government that all the 3 arms must work independently.
Till today, they are not being separated in Nigeria.
And that they must act as check and balances. You saw judicial system. You saw the judicial arm. Now applauding the executive.
Why do you
We already saw what is happening in the legislative arm, where everything that comes from the executive have a say through.
Everything is take a bow and
Just
go.
take a bow and go. Can you fathom that from where you are coming from?
So I still want to ask you.
Now the Nigerians are frustrated. A political party, the head of a political party is frustrated in this nation because of what is going on, and is calling on where we borrow this democracy from.
It's very
America say, please come and help. Sometimes when you are a father in the house and your children are frustrated to some certain level, they put a call across. Or they call, Daddy, how do I go through this? Nigerians are helpless. Let's not shy away from the truth. We are completely helpless. We are like a captured nation at this moment.
But do you...
Because insecurity is ravaging us. Forget about the statistics that we are getting from Nigeria Bureau of Statistics about the inflation. I don't want to go there because we know what is obtainable in our markets. Then Nigerians don't have jobs. Nigerians can't pay their bills any longer.
Let's take this call.
Sorry, can I quickly say something?
Yeah, there's a caller. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Hello, good afternoon. This is Ian. I'm calling from Lagos.
Please go ahead.
Please, I want to take this from a very different perspective. This Trump religious attack. Now, give an example. There was a religious leader that during Jonathan's time carried his members and did 1 million march against Jonathan because of hunger. Now, that same religious leader have seen the massacre, the genocide of Christians, and now have not uttered a word. The question is, do we really have Christians or religious leaders in Nigeria? If it can take Trump, the president of America, that does not know Christ, I don't believe Trump have given his life to Christ, to fight for Christians in Nigeria, why the religious leaders in Nigeria are quiet?
Okay.
Believe me.
Okay,
this is a sad omen to Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Hold on. Before you go, I would also like to take you up on this. So you mentioned that of the religious leader. So I remember vividly, ever since I started this show, whenever you call, you usually use a particular word, my president, right?
Sure.
Okay. So have you also, called me on like this, ever since this massacre started, to actually tell me that your president, has really not done well as regards to this particular thing, or they've not been able to curb, this insecurity? It's just a question. Thank you very much. So that particular side is fine. So thank you for joining the show. Let me continue with my analyst. Thank you very much. All right, madam, please go ahead.
First of all, I'm going to blame the Nigeria intelligence. Nigeria intelligence are not doing their job.
Okay.
Because they suppose, and the intelligence sharing in Nigeria is not that strong because of the cabals, because they know the criminals. The criminals, they use politics against each other. This is Nigerian problem. Nigeria used politics, security to fight one another. The intelligence supposed to start it, tracing where the money is coming from. Who are the people funding these criminals? And if they can trace them, and it's very easy to trace actually, if they can trace them so that they can bring them to justice. It's very sad that in Nigeria, the power ones don't go to prison. It's a very, very sad thing that Nigeria prisons are meant for the poor, not for the rich. Even if they know them, they cover them up. But on the day, the who is who, the rich ones, the wealthy ones, the cabals, on the day they started going to 10 years in prison, sentenced them to life, brought them to justice. That's the beginning that Nigerians, there is a new Nigeria.
Okay, let me go back to Chief Ame. Hello, Chief Ame, are you there? Okay, so I think we're having a network glitch there. But Mr. Elvis, what are the potential consequences if this crisis is not resolved? And of course, what does this crisis affect, does this crisis affect the party chances in 2027?
It will, if it is not resolved, one. But let me quickly answer a little bit, speak in line with what Madam said.
Okay.
When Madam is talking about Kaaba, Kaaba in a sitting government, as powerful as Nigeria president and commander-in-chief of the armed forces, and we are hearing about Kaaba, that means the president himself is not ready, he doesn't know his duties. The president of Nigeria can crush any Kaaba if he really wants to do that.
Because he's the commander-in-chief.
He's the commander-in-chief. Remember this same Nigeria, okay, the late former president, Muhammadu Buhari, had a list that was given to him from UAE, the sponsors of this criminality in Nigeria. What happened to that list?
We didn't see
if Buhari cannot prosecute them, what stops President Ahmed Tinubu not prosecuting the people that are in that list? Why are we talking of Kaaba? Can't the president step on toes for him to get the integrity of his office? And that's for you to get the integrity of office, you can't please everybody. That's why you are called the president. Because that's why Nigerians will believe you. Nigerians gave you their vote because they believe that you know the problem of this nation. You'll be here as two-time governor of Lagos State, and since 1999 to today, you dictate who is who in Lagos governance, political governance of Lagos State.
Also, even beyond Lagos.
Even
beyond Lagos, in Nigeria to be precise. Yes.
But the security, now today you have the biggest office. But then such person will say he cannot step on the toes of Kaaba to give Nigerians peace.
But the insecurity,
which is a constitutional guarantee, welfare and security of Nigeria is the paramount challenge for a city president.
But the insecurity we are having in Nigeria at the moment is because of the cabals. It's because of the politicians.
Let's take cabals out. It is the government that is not ready to work, that is looking for fleeting excuses. But that's what I'm saying.
But this government is working. This government,
with this number of deaths?
No.
With this number of deaths? Don't forget about the
there's
third
always
rule.
a death.
It is the human being that applied the third rule. Forget about the third rule. Nigerians need to live first before they can see a third rule. Nigerians need to live first
when
before
I
they can see
when I was coming,
$1 billion.
No. Do you know the state? Wait, sorry. Can I quickly say something? Right. If you compare the Muritala Mohammed Airport during President Buhari, during President Jonathan, so this present president, there's a big changes. They don't ask for bribe. The airport, the air conditioning is working. The cleanliness, during Buhari, it wasn't like that. During President Jonathan, it wasn't like that. Because the corruption was very high.
Madam, you are speaking for the elitist
and
class.
also,
the elitist class, that is the problem we have in this nation. The elitist class is not up to 10%. The 90% of Nigerians that are slaughtered every day, who speaks for them? You are speaking for the elitist. How many Nigerians know Muritala Mohammed Airport?
During President Buhari's time, Nigerian border was actually open.
Okay.
Because Buhari doesn't prosecute terrorists. Buhari, even when they show their faces, during late President Buhari's time, terrorists walk free. They show their face. They will tell you they are not Nigerians. If they are not Nigerians, why can't you go straight to their country, wherever they come from? Show them on telly, track them down, bring them to justice. Nigeria don't do that. Why does Nigeria don't do that? Because they know that these people have been used by politicians. Because on the day Nigeria started persecuting politicians that use terrorists to fight one another, because this is what Nigeria.
Who is going to start it?
Well,
who is going to?
The president, Mr. President.
Then that's what I'm saying. If the president cannot start it, which means the president does not know the responsibility Nigerians get.
Okay. But the intelligence also have to.
You live in the UK. You live in the UK where things work, where there is no big man before the law or a poor man before the law. The law is applicable to everybody from the top to the bottom. But here,
and that is why Mr. President. Mr. President needs to work with the loyal people.
Why don't you tell the city president, please, don't mention Kaba. Nigerians don't want to hear Kaba. Nigerians want to live like the people that gave us the independence where you live.
Okay. Thank you very much, Madam Ayola and Mr. Elvis. Of course,
there will always be Kaba.
Madam Ayola.
There will always be Kaba.
All right, I'd like you to hold your thoughts. So, because we're pressed for time, but in closing, of course, let's not forget that we digressed because of the invitation that Turaki, the chairman of PDP.
Yes, it's part of what we're talking about.
Yes, it's part of what we're saying, that he called on the international community.
It's out of frustration.
So it's out of frustration.
Out of frustration because...
No, it's because they don't like Mr. President.
Turaki does not own police. It doesn't have police force. It doesn't have the armed forces. The people who are using Wike have the police.
Okay, so Madam Ayola,
President Trump has his own problem.
Okay, Madam Ayola.
America is even worse.
Madam Ayola, because of our time.
Americans is worse than Nigeria.
Because of our time.
Americans should face their own problem and leave Nigeria with their own problem. And allow Mr. President. PDP, the way Nigeria operates in politics, they move around. It's a political process.
Okay, but because we're pressed for time, so gentlemen and ladies, thank you very much.
But Mr. President is really working.
All right, thank you very much.
Mr. President is
I would want Madam Ayola to still come back, because she said a statement now before we round off. She said the president is really working. So on that day, we'll be talking about the reforms of Mr. President and this government. And the reason why we need to talk about this is because we would like to share track records, and what has been making rounds on social media as regards to the facts they give to us. And of course, I would have to go on the streets of Nigeria to do a vox pop to hear from the common man. The show is people's voice. And on that particular day, Madam Ayola would be able to compare scripts. And before she leaves for the UK, I promise you here that this show would actually happen. All right? But I would like to leave us with this. Madam Ayola, you live in the United Kingdom. You are a Nigerian. Of course, you're also a British citizen. And you know that someone from one of the princes in the royal family, just like what we discussed, was stripped of his titles, everything, just because of a sexual case. Sexual harassment case, right? Because there were evidence.
Yeah.
Now, there is a sitting senator, as we speak, who got married to an actress at a very tender age.
Yes.
And guess what? Instead, the same senator can actually talk about the said wife as a drug addict, meaning that you have abhorred a drug addict in your home.
Which is.
And guess what? The senator is still speaking. The senator is still in the red chambers. The senator is still pushing for a Nyoma state as we speak, and nothing has happened. This is to let you know, I might not allow anybody to talk again because I have to leave now. But this is to let you know that Nigeria is not United Kingdom. Okay, so if anybody is calling for help, I understand that we have to look into it, but of course, I wouldn't want us to downplay, the place of a common man in this nation. This is how far I can actually go on the show. And thank you so much, Chief Peter Ahmed, for joining the program. Thank you so much, Mr. Hevis. Thank you, Madam Ayola. Of course, we'll be doing this again. I promise you all. That particular program will actually come to pass before I allow her board any flight and leaving this country. Okay? Don't give up because it is not over. Tough time doesn't last. Tough people do last. Whatsoever you're facing will soon be over, and you will definitely smile again. If you love the world of sport, please stay put for Locker Room. My name remains Savior Udo. Have a good evening rest.
VOP TV. Now, you have more than a voice.
In a world where power shifts with every headline.
In a nation full of questions.
In a world filled with noise, the truth needs a voice.
The policies that shapes our world and the economy that determines our future.
Every hour, every day, the grapevine keeps buzzing. And together, we are committed to telling the stories that shape our world, because your voice is our focus.
Don't forget, our voice matters the most. Let us come together and share our concerns.
This is Health Check, your weekly guide to better living, smarter choices, and trusted answers. From everyday wellness to urgent health issues, we've got you covered. Health Check, only on Voice of the People television, where your health has a voice.
My name is Esther. They call me the Oga of them are the general overseer of them all. Every man, every woman has got a voice where integrity is the volume. So this is Voice of the People's TV. Voice of the People's TV. So this is the people's voice. And the people's voice is the voice of God. That's the voice populi in Latin. The people's voice is the voice of God. So keep watching Voice of the People. In fact, my name is Voice of the People. Keep watching them. Say, Hi
guys, my name is Kagan. I am Nigeria's biggest tech content creator. And I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Voice of the People TV. Keep watching, enjoy, and you're welcome.
My name is MC Alamano. They say call me Enjoy Med Landlord. It's VOP TV. Keep watching VOP TV. Don't touch it down. Even if you want to touch it down, increase the volume. If you don't increase the volume, I told me.
My name is Collins Agawabe, popularly known as No My Day, but last, more than No My Day. Or more. Not be all so the cook right at the fry plantain. We keep on watching VOP TV. Hey. The voice of the people, the voice of Edo. If you want to get the authentic news for Edo, the way it be, that's why they show and all the content they come on at VOP TV.
Voice of the People television awuchiela o onye nụ ya ka ọrụ ibe ya. Ị chọrọ ịmata akụkọ ndị gbara n'akwụkwọ akụkọ dị iche iche n'ala anyị kwa ụbọchị. Ị chọrọ ịmata ka o si afịatụ na ndọrọndọrọ ọchịchị, agụmakwụkwọ, azụmahịa, ime njem, ọbụladị egwuregwu. Mgbasonyere anyị n'oge ndị Igbo na Voice of the People television. Anyị nwere ndị ọbịa bụ ọkachamara, bụkwa ndị ga-enye aka tapịa isiokwu ndị anyị jiri bịa kwa ụbọchị. Anyị ga-eji ka o siri gbaa n'akwụkwọ akụkọ dị iche iche wee malite tupu anyị akọzie n'uju n'ubi onye anyị bịara na nke ya.
Ịgbamụrụ nzem ọzọ kedụkosi aga ya gaziere onye ukwu ma gaziere onye nta.
Mkparịta ụka tọrọ atọ ka anyị ga-ewetara gị bụkwa nke ga-eme ka ịmata ka ihe si aga n'ala anyị bụ Naijiria ọbụladị na mba ofesi. Oge ndị Igbo na Voice of the People television ga na-abịara gị site n'ụbọchị Mọnde ruo Fraịde na SLTV Channel 264. Ekwekwala ka akọrọ gị ya akọrọ. Chetakwa na ọ bụ na SLTV Channel 264 ka ị ga-ekiri Voice of the People television. Voice of the People television. Ugbu a iwere karịa olu.
Join us as we drive into the world of politics through insightful interviews with prominent political figures, both serving and former governors, ministers, senators, legislators, party chieftains, activists, and analysts. Get first-hand information into the decision-making processes that affect our daily lives. Highly engaging one-hour program that brings political discourse into focus.
I am Chukwuma Okoro.
Political Lens, Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Join us. In a world where truth is the ultimate power and opinions scream the loudest, it's time to wade through the noise.
Hunger no get tribe! Hunger no get religion!
And trending topics that matter. Stay tuned to The Issues, your plug to the stories making the buzz, from politics to science and technology, social justice, and more. Let's tackle the tough questions and expose the truth. The Issues, on Voice of the People Television, Mondays to Fridays, 8 to 9 p.m. The Issues. Don't just react, understand.
Voice of the People, you can hear me now. My name is Patrick Doyle, and I wish that you continue to echo the voices of the people. Big up VOP TV.
My name is Suibifa Dokubo. Please keep watching VOP TV.
Hi, my name is Kwekumali Ikenna Onyekwena, and I am with the Voice of the People TV. Now, if you're looking for the veritable channel for information, politics, robust discussions, you don't need to go far. VOP has you. VOP will always have you. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Patrick Diabwa, aka Ibani Chuka, Amayanabo the Eagle King, and you are watching VOP TV. Stay with us.
Behind every broken desk lies a broken promise. Education shapes the nations, but who is asking the right questions? Introducing Edu Dialogue, the show that goes beyond the surface, exposes the cracks, the corruption, and the silence in Nigeria's education system. Edu Dialogue, Saturdays, 3 p.m., only on VOP TV. We break the biggest stories, from missing funds to policy failures. We ask the tough questions and demand real answers. Edu Dialogue, this Saturday, 3 p.m. on Voice of the People Television.
3 years ago, we lit the spark. Today, we are blazing the trail for others to follow. VOP Media is 3 years of breaking boundaries. 3 years of being that bold voice that echoes the thoughts of the people. 3 years of telling stories that matter.
VOP TV. Now, you have more than a voice.
Hello and welcome to another very exciting episode of the Locker Room on Voice of the People TV. I am Ikechukwu Agwagu. Today promises to be another very interesting episode of the show, as we've got a lot of conversations lined up for you today. Of course, you can be a part of this conversation. All you need to do is drop your comments on our YouTube platform or use the number beaming on your screen to call us via WhatsApp, and then let's have your thoughts and your says. Of course, do not also forget to like, share, and of course, do not also forget to click on that notification bell so you don't get to miss another episode of our show. I'm not alone here in the building. Of course, I'm not a Liverpool fan, so expected I'm not going to walk alone. I'm with Afis, and of course, Maiwa also joins virtually. Afis, good evening. Welcome to Locker Room.
Yes, good evening, Ikechuku. Good evening, Maiwa as well, and good evening to all the football lovers out there. And yes, it's always a wonderful time, to join you to talk about the round leader game, the Jogo Bonito, the beautiful game. Yes, and yeah, I'm so excited to be here, and let's get cracking. Let's break everything down together.
Let's go cracking. Maiwa, today is another very beautiful Wednesday. I don't know if you fully recovered from Super Eagles exit, but Jerry Apelo obviously is not yet fully recovered. That's why it's not here with us. Maiwa, good evening and welcome to Locker Room.
Well, it's always amazing to be here. As an investor, when you invest money in something and it doesn't go well, you might probably end up in the hospital. I think that's the reason why Jerry's in the hospital. I just pray that he covers his investment. I mean, since Nigeria disappointed. However, since we are talking about people breaking jinxes, after 28 years, we are going to see Scott McTominay and Scotland at the World Cup again. I mean, I was really happy for him. He was chased away from Manchester United, and now he's doing big things for Napoli, and for also the Scottish national team. 28 years after absence, the last time they were there was in 1998. Torian, the Flo, and the rest of them. That was last time he was at the at the World Cup, and now they are going there again. I'm really happy for him. While Nigeria, well, we are just missing 8 years. Maybe after we miss another 20 years, making it 28, maybe we'll get to see the World Cup again. But in any case, it's a good way to talk football. Before having it.
Well, still talking about World Cup and how long it took the last Scottish side to actually get to the World Cup. You also know that if DR Congo finds their way to this particular 2026 World Cup, it's going to be their very first time in over 50 years. The last time they were at the World Cup was in 1974.
They were
and of course,
Congo.
yes, of course, and it's going to be huge. I am rooting for them to actually go all the way because I mean, if they can stop the Super Eagles, Africa actually needs a representative. But still talking about World Cup, and this time around, former Nigerian international Victor Anichebe has criticized the Nigerian Football Federation (NFF) for the Super Eagles' failure to qualify for 2026 FIFA World Cup. The team was eliminated after a 4-3 penalty shootout loss to the Democratic Republic of Congo in the African Playoff Final. Anichebe voiced his disappointment over the setback, emphasizing the need for accountability within the NFF. In a social media post, Anichebe stated that real change requires selflessness and long-term planning, urging for discussion that lead to meaningful decisions. He highlighted that without serious conversations, the team would continue to face similar challenges in the future. With the World Cup bid now over, the Super Eagles will focus on the upcoming 2025 African Cup of Nations set to begin in Morocco next month. Anichebe's comment added to the growing concerns of directions of Nigerian football. Yesterday, we talked a lot about the future, what the future holds for Nigerian football. And at the peak of it is what should be the blueprint, which, I mean, I want to believe that the NFF or whoever it is that has the ears of the NFF is actually watching and listening to us now. If you are actually to, guide the NFF now, following Anichebe's statement saying we need some serious conversation. What are the serious conversation? What are the low-hanging fruits for you that these are, the serious conversation, and this is exactly where we have to start to get it right?
Well, thank you very much. In his statement, he said real change demands selflessness, ruthlessness. Let us break it down from the start. People that are not deserving to be here, they should not be here. You can't have somebody who has never had any interest in football running football matters. Heads should roll. Well, Maiwa said something yesterday. He said we can forget about the next World Cup if we want to really rebuild. I mean, Morocco, they went MIA for a while, and they came back after those 10 to 15 years investment, and you are seeing the results now. It can happen for Nigeria as well. Of course, nobody will be held accountable except us for where we found ourselves. Now, we've accepted where we are, we want to rebuild. Now, let us now go deep. Let us clear the weeds. Let us bring people that actually know about this business. Trial and error is allowed, right? So it's not as if it's going to yield results immediately.
Afis, sorry, please hold on. So we're looking at the case where these are the same kind of people that is going to run our football. I'm just looking.
The ones there now.
Yes, I'm just looking at, even if you change the Gusaus of this world, people like him will always find a way back into the NFF. That's the sad reality we have now. So let's say this is the case. But I'm saying, what are the kind of blueprints that should be on ground? Because in other society where football runs and things are done properly in terms of sport, every single administrator that's come into the job, they don't have the same level of expertise, they don't have the same level of vision in terms of what should be done. But because there is a laid down blueprint, for example, I'll give you an example. France started their own journey in 1988.
Yes.
The people who started the journey in France in 1988 are not the people there now.
But because they actually have knowledge of what
because there was a blueprint laid, and they are following the blueprint. So what are the blueprint that should be laid?
Now the blueprint is there. In my opinion, the blueprint is there.
Okay.
But the thing is that the leadership, that blueprint, under whose leadership is it going to be run properly? That's the question. It's not rocket science, and to be honest, it's not as if it's something that is really too big for anybody to handle. We just need I think we are blessed in this country. It is there. We know what's to be done. We know the things that are to be put in place. But do we have people that are ready to put them in place? That's the question. The issue with Nigeria for me is not what is to be done. It is under who it is to be done. So if we don't have those set of people and we keep recycling the ones that we have now, that thing that we want to be done is not going to be done, or it's going to be done wobbly. We had Pinnick under Usutelage, we saw the stadium and all of that. We know that we need stadiums in Nigeria. We can't keep playing in New York. We need to develop the ones we have. But if we are still having the Pinnicks, we are not going to get anywhere. So just like I said, it is who, not what is to be done. It is who is ready to, take that mantle upon himself and say, I want to see these things really, really done and to yield good results. It's not about what is to be done. And it is clear. Maiwa spoke about going back to the grassroots. We always talk about going back to the grassroots, but do we have people that are ready to lead us through those grassroots? That's the bigger question. Is who, not what.
So Maiwa, the question Anichebe actually posed was, there need to be a serious conversation. Now, in your own assessment, what exactly, ranks as serious conversation for you at this point to actually develop Nigerian football? And help us on
players misbehave. I was watching a podcast of, Lise talk about this. The discipline as part of the team. That's a brand of 70 years. So we need to, first of all, build institution. The reason why all these things work is that there's an institution. Let me give you a typical example. Those running, what's it called now? The English FA at the moment. If all of them go, there is an institution in place of how things are being run. They've built an institution, not just structure. We have to build the system, and building institution in place means putting things putting things in properly. A typical example: when was the last time the NFF was audited? When was the last time anybody saw the audited report of the NFF? These are institutions you are building in place. These are mechanisms you are building in place to ensure that funds allocated for development are well monitored and goes to where it's supposed to go to. If you have an institution, people who are corrupt-minded will not come there and bastardize this. If you don't have an institution, that's where people will come in and do what they want. So before we start building anything, we need to first of all, build an institution. And the reason why that is this, we are talking about Morocco and the rest of that. Monies were invested. This means to give account. Give an example. The FA of South Africa, Danny Jordan took 1,000 for expense. Do you know he was dragged in front of a court to return that money, and he had to refund the money, or else he would have gone to jail? Is that happening in Nigeria? Yeah. Are they giving account of the monies given to them? And there is no development without you building an institution, because if you don't build an institution, there will be corruption. So the bottom line is for us to be able to go anywhere, because everything we are talking about, we are talking about building the grassroots. We are talking about, developing our football, developing our age-grade football. We are talking about ensuring that we are able to set the stage for people to succeed. We need to build an institution, because all these things revolve around money. That is the reason why somebody will present a stadium that he built for 1.2 million and everybody's scratching their head because there's no institution. That's the reason why the government will release billions for NFF and we will not see the results, and we are not seeing any audited report That is the reason why anybody can come up any day, anytime, and go there. That's the reason why people can reward their cronies with football position, with football appointment. People that do not know anything about football. So we need to build an institution before we begin to see development. If we do not build an institution, bring the best person, bring the most, the most upright Nigeria to come and run football, the person will fail because there is no institution backing the person up.
So Mayowa, you made mention of something, building an institution, and there's an old Japanese phrase that is called Kobayashi Maru, which means a no-win situation or a no-win scenario where you just keep moving in circles, right? And that seems to be where we find ourselves in our football now. And you've been talking about building an institution. So let's put this side by side. How do we build an institution? Because I also know that a couple of years ago, let me give an example. One of my big bros back in the days actually traveled to China, and one of the remote villages of China where he actually stayed, he said, that place is usually for people, in fact, non-indigens, right? Rarely go there. Talk more of outsiders, like foreigners, like himself. Also being an African is also. I mean, you hardly see anybody out of that's not even a Chinese in that particular place of China that he stayed. He said one thing struck him, that every single morning when he comes out, when a different person see him on the road, I've not seen him before, and most times they are quite old people. So they will the first question they ask him is, "What are you doing in our China?" Which means there is a sort of ideology that has been imprinted in them, knowing that this China, this country belong to us. And that's why it's the People's Republic of China. Yeah. So now let's go back. How do we now create an ideology, build an institution that is going to be cemented in the heart of an average Nigerian, knowing that this is our football, this is our Super Eagles?
Well, it's very simple. And I say it's very simple, but it's not simple. The thing is this. What we are seeing now, football, is a reflection of the Nigerian country itself. What is happening to Nigeria as a whole is a reflection of what's happening in football. When I say building an institution, it takes us to review how things are being run. It takes us to review how things are being run, as a country in general. Because I mean, if I'm in government and I'm spending money on football, I want to build an institution whereby there will be an accountability. There will be an accountability mechanism instituted in that, enshrined in that code of conduct of that particular federation. And that is not that's we are not seeing that at the moment. We've been shouting all this while about monies given to the NFF. We needed to see the audit report. We needed to see those in financial crime commission, the EFCC, probing all this money spent. That has not happened. That's the one. Number two, I can bet it with you, nobody has seen the audited account of NFF. How do you give money to people and they are not audited? What are the checks and balances to check people you are giving money to ensure that they are doing what they are supposed to do? These are the processes of building institution. And you cannot just, say we want to build institution without people who are willing to do it. As far as I'm concerned, what we are seeing in our football is a reflection of the government as a whole, is a reflection of the Nigerian state as a whole. An average person in position of power is corrupt. And that's the reason why we are seeing this. A whole lot of us, we focus on government, we talk about government because, NFF is not a government-run, in quotes now, it's not a government-run, federation, so a lot of people do not talk about it. But what is happening in government is, it's an extension of what's happening in NFF, because majority of them, they are government cronies. So we need to start putting checks and balances in place to ensure that there is accountability. None of those people who have run our football in the last 30 years are accountable to anything. Should I shock you? I was watching, JJ Okocha talk about their journey of Atlanta 96. Are you aware that Okocha, Olise, and the rest of them that were playing abroad paid for hotel, paid for fund, paid for their accommodation when the Nigerian government did not bother to care about how they will survive in US? He was talking about it on Facebook in one of the podcasts, and I was scratching my head. And these are people that brought honor to Nigeria, and this is about 29 years ago. So it's not a thing that started now. it shows that, you know, we don't have an institution in place. We have not built an institution. We just you know, pick people and say, come and do it and do a past job. For us to be successful, for our football to be successful, there is a need for us to build an institution. For us to be able to do that, we need to start putting checks and balances in place, because if we are talking about building anything, it involves capital. And when it involves capital, people can be funding with capital. So we have to build in checks and balances in place such that, you know, there will be deterrent for people who steal money. I mean, if the FA president of, you know, South Africa is being threatened with jail for 80,000 that he took for his own personal expenses, not official expenses from the FA, and he had to return it, what's happening to our own people in football here? That is not happening. What's happening to government officials stealing money? No, but nothing is being done to them. They are working free. So we need to build an institution, and for us to do that, we need to start putting checks and balances in place. And if we do not do that, we can spend all the money we want. We can spend 1 trillion naira on our football. We'll come back here and be discussing the same thing in the next 4 years.
It's a very sad place to be in at this point. I mean, a lot of persons are still actually yet to come out of the defeat of the 2026 FIFA World Cup housing of the Super Eagles. And one person is also jumping into the fray. The head coach of Oldham Athletic under 19, talking about Chuks Aneto, actually, I beg your pardon, has expressed that the substitution of Victor Osimhen played a significant role in the Super Eagles' defeat against DR Congo during the 2026 FIFA World Cup playoff in Africa. Nigeria initially took the lead through Frank Onyeka, but Osimhen was replaced after injury. After he got an injury in that particular game, and the balance shifted, allowing Congo to equalize and ultimately win the game 4-3 on penalties. Akuneto actually highlighted that Osimhen's presence instilled a fear factor in opponents, and his absence gave the Congolese defenders newfound confidence to push forward. The Super Eagles struggled to maintain their early momentum, eventually gassing out as the match progressed. Despite starting strong, they couldn't capitalize on their initial advantage and struggled against Congo's tactical adjustment. Mayowa, you said something about, you know, Osimhen and you know, the Congolese defense yesterday, that as soon as he stepped out of the game, you know, these guys started, you know, moving forward, and then the dynamics of the game actually changed. I quite agree with, you know, you and of course a lot of persons who actually said Osimhen's got, you know, huge presence. But the question is this, right? I want to move this Akuneto's position a little bit from, you know, just Osimhen as a person, because Osimhen has actually done a lot, and of course is a product of Nigerian 8th grade system. So let's go back. What happened to the 8th grade system that produced Osimhen? Why can't we get a lot of players come out these ranks? I mean, in the 2015 Under-17 World Cup that produced Osimhen, we also saw a lot of players that were actually good. Only Osimhen went on to become something great. Nwakali and the likes also showed good prospects at that age. Now we also have Bernard Frederick, who is also a product. How can we ensure? Because, for example, in Spain, coaches like Luis Aragonés was coach of the under-20 side for about 20 years. Yeah. A lot of countries also do this. They keep these coaches. Why is it difficult for us to keep Amunike as the under-17 coach even till now, and then leave Samson Sasa as the under-20 coach for Nigeria, and then the both of them will double it as the coach of Nigerian side going into the Olympics? What is so difficult in that?
Well, for me, I think it's just about, how would I put it now? It's just that lack of accountability, lack of, how would I put it now? Just what Mayowa said in a nutshell. It's just about the Super Eagles or the NFF. No, not the Super Eagles this time. The NFF now not putting their house in order, not creating that institution. Yes, that was what I actually wanted. Not creating that institution. But they are the ones that I had these guys. They were the ones that. So why is it difficult for them after a very good campaign? Just leave them on the job. Even the campaigns that are not so mild. The campaigns that are mild, the campaigns that were not so good. What were your preparations towards that campaign? So what we do there in Nigeria is that when something is done, is not properly done, we didn't get the results we wanted, even after poor investments into that competition, and that competition deservedly did not turn out well. We would just want to, make somebody the fall guy. Then the next thing, the coach is gone. The players too are disbanded. We don't see them anymore. So I don't think they do this proper check of, okay, what did we even do to deserve this result? Did we even prepare well for this tournament? Did these boys actually even give their all for this tournament? You you know that what you put in for that tournament is not even deserving of a gold medal. Then you got knocked out in the round of 16, and the next thing you just bring in a 4 guy and you put people under the bus. That is that lack of accountability that Mayowa, was actually saying. So for me, I think in this case, before you can have a long-term plan, you have to just refresh. That's the word.
To press a restart button.
You have to press a restart button. And
so we want to press a restart button. How do we ensure that these guys, because I recall that before Samson Siasia became the coach of the Super Eagles,
yes,
there was a call, a national call. When I mean a national call, the whole nation was saying, no, this guy is too good. We've seen him at the under-20 level. We've seen him at the Olympics.
Yes.
We saw him during the qualifiers. In fact, that Olympics was particularly very difficult for us to qualify.
Was not the same person that won the 2016 and 2008?
2016?
2008 and 2016 medals. Was it not Siasia that coached them there? 2016 was the one. 2008 too with the Van Zekins, was the one as well.
So what I'm saying is, after the during that Olympics in 2008, it was difficult for us to qualify. I recall very well that Ghana was in our group, so it was a difficult game. And Ghana, brought in many of their big players. In fact, Asamoah Gyan and co were part of that team that actually, gave Nigeria serious headache in that qualifying round. And somehow, Samson Siasia found a way to take the Super Eagles. I mean the dream team. That's what they are called, to the Olympics. After the Olympics, the whole nation was like, you know what? This guy, you need to give this guy the job, and he got the job. What should we do this time to ensure that, okay, someone who has done so well? I think it's no brainer for someone who has done a good job to be rewarded with more jobs, or some sort of good job to continue, right? Yeah. I think the least we should be able to do is to say, okay, you've done this well, continue on this particular track.
Yeah, but with Nigeria now, it's the opposite. I mean, we see a certain Manu Garba always coming around, always coming back. What's his name? Salisu Yusuf as well, always coming around. We find a way to recycle the poor ones and let the good ones just, we find a way to let the good ones just stay aside. I mean, Mayowa, you can agree with me. And it's bad.
Mayowa, Afis is actually talking about, he mentioned 2 coaches now, and one very well recently, the Salisu Yusuf was the one that took our under-20 to this, very terrible World Cup outing, very most recent one, that we got walloped 4-0 by the Argentines and eventually lose 2-0 to the Moroccans in the final. Mayowa, how do we solve this age grade problem? Because now, if we cannot guarantee that there is going to be an Osimhen somewhere, because see, the funny side of all of this is this: top players or good footballers that have handled age grade system in this country ends up producing top players.
Of course.
I'll give you an example. It was Nduka Ogbade that produced Wilfred Ndidi at the under-20. Mm-hmm. Emmanuel Amunike produced Victor Osimhen. Samson Siasia, I mean, we cannot even start counting.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. So it seems that these people who are ex-footballers that have transitioned into becoming coaches have this natural aura and eyes or vision for good players. Why can't we just keep them? I mean, they've reason to
turn out good, but then the ones
that's what I'm saying. We are certain that we are going to get at least 2-3.
Yes.
That's going to turn out good.
Everybody can be poor. Yes.
2-3 that's going to turn out good for the Super Eagles. If we leave them, I mean, age grade tournaments usually is 2 years. So which means in 6 years, even if each year they give us 1 or 2 good players, which means we have 6 players at most, right? Yeah. That is going to be coming into the Super Eagles rounds. Mayowa, how do we solve this problem?
I mean, before we start talking about building institutions, definitely we cannot stop football. Football will continue. However, there are some few things. First of all, the way we appoint coaches needs to change. Should I shock you?
Okay.
We appoint coach based on region. We use federal character to appoint coaches. If somebody from the south is on a 17 coach, somebody from north central or northeast will be, under 20, under 23 will go to somebody else. And that's the reason there is no consistency. I can't remember his name now. The Spanish coach that coached I think the current coach, De La Fuentes, coached for about 10 years.
Yes.
The 8th grade of Spanish national team.
Yes.
Meaning he knew majority of those guys that won the Euro for him.
He took over the job when Aragonés left in, I think it was in 2008 or 2009, because Aragonés was actually the ones who was, bringing the likes of Xavi and until they got to that particular stage, in 2008 where he came in as a coach. And
it was the one he coached Pedri in 2019 on 17. He was there.
So, Maiwa, go ahead.
I mean, so that's what we are talking about. That is not there. See, what they do is they do this, this particular coach is from this region, this coach is from that region, then, okay, for this particular age grade, we pick a coach from that particular region. That does not work. It will not build consistency and to breed a whole lot of tribalism. That's the man. Number 2, our NFF, they need to do better. Let me shock you. Our under 17 girls, the one that they just finished playing, they paid their own transport and their own, upkeep to go to camp. They were the ones that were responsible for themselves. When they came back after the tournament, they gave them only 115,000. And these are under 17-year-old girls that are supposed to represent Nigeria. They were the one catering for themselves. So we need to put all these things right. And also, there's another thing that we also need to look into. I can share a personal experience. The last one of the family, it should be about, it will be turning 38 in some few days. It was supposed to be part of the under 17 about 21 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. Do you know what stopped him? They told him to go and bring $10,000. And that was the reason why he dropped from work. Tomorrow, he still talks about it. We need to put all these things in place for us to be able to get the right talent. When you are asking a 16, 17-year-old boy to go and bring $10,000 to come and join the national team, that's the reason why majority of those people we see, even though they are not good enough, it is because they have, one godfather somewhere. So things that we need to put in place. Number 1, we have to have coaches that will, stay a very, very long course and not appoint coaches based on the region they come from. We need to look at coaches that have eye for talent, coaches that can develop them that can spot them very young and develop. We have to put that in place first. Another thing, the issue of how players get national team, especially the age grade, needs to be addressed. The situation whereby you are asking an unknown player that doesn't have connection anywhere to go and bring money, we scare away talent, and that's the reason why we've not been able to produce anything tangible after the set of Osimhen. The last under 20 that played, maybe the so-called 15-year-old guy, maybe he can step in 1 or 2 games. But I mean, the under 20 guys. I caught. I mean, your 15-year-old friend. I mean, that's the only person I can see that probably maybe will make it further. Every other person in that team, they are nowhere to be found. So if we don't put these things in place, there is no way we are going to produce anything. And also the NFF, they have to drop their nasty attitude of building our team on foreign Nigerians. Yes, they are Nigerians as every one of us. They have every right to play for the country. However, it has been a policy of successive NFF presidents, embodied under Ahmadu Pinnick, to rely on foreign developed players to play for Nigeria. If you continue to do that, there is no way you are going to develop